Islamic feminism is a combination of Islam and feminism. Islamic feminists base their arguments in Islam and its teachings, and Islamic feminism is a relatively new term. However, it's been around for quite some time throughout the history of Islam. But in the past century, the movement has picked up a lot. However, despite the movement gaining a lot of traction in recent years, many critics see Islamic feminism as more radical than secular feminism, as well as some consider it to be a contradictory term. Does Islamic feminism actually have a place in the religion of Islam? Let's take a look and jump right in and see the facts about Islamic feminism to learn what it's all about. Hey everyone, my name is Leroy Kenton and thanks for coming back to another episode of FTD Facts. This is a channel where we share information with you about the different countries, cultures, as well as people from all around the world. And we're about to explore a new side of Islam that we haven't explored before on this channel. If you're excited to learn about new things and joining in on conversations about topics like this, leave a like on this episode, as well as if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, like if you're a brand new viewer, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss any future episodes like this. So the first thing that I want to get into right now is really looking more into the term Islamic feminism and then distinguishing it from the term Islamism. So let's take a look. Now, the phrase Islamism, the term can refer to various forms of political and social activism advocating that public and political life should be guided by Islamic principles, as well as it can relate to movements that advocate that political and personal life should be in line with Islamic law. You may have also heard the terms political Islam or Islamic fundamentalism. Those are terms that are used interchangeably with Islamism. Now, when we look at Islamic feminism, this is not a female-centric form of Islamism, nor is it even just simply a form of feminism that is born out of Muslim culture. Rather, Islamic feminism engages Islamic theology through Islamic texts as well as traditions. And now its aim is to have full equality of men and women in the religion and other areas of life as well. And this equality also extends to non-Muslims as well. Now, the concept of Islamic feminism has grown further with more Islamic groups on the rise. Also, educated Muslim women are working to establish their role in society to have their voice heard, as well as cause significant changes in the political and social arenas. Islamic feminists argue that Islam has historically been interpreted in a patriarchal and sometimes misogynistic way, that Sharia law has been misunderstood and or misrepresented, and that the spirit and the letter of the Quran have been completely distorted. Sharia, which is the Islamic religious law, is derived from the Quran, the main religious text of Islam. It also derives from the Hadith, which are the sayings and the deeds of the Prophet Muhammad and his companions, and Ijma, meaning consensus, and Qiyas, meaning reasoning by analogy. Islamic feminists challenge the patriarchal interpretation of the traditional male consensus, and they use female-centric verses of the Quran as well as sayings from the Hadith to spread equality in Islam. Now, looking at the rise in Islamic feminism throughout history, William Montgomery Watt, who was born 1909 to 2006, he was one of the main non-Muslim interpreters of Islam in the West, and he portrayed the Prophet Muhammad in the historical context of his time. And this context was that Muhammad was a figure who testified on behalf of female rights in all aspects of life, and this included owning property as well as education and rights in divorce, just to name a few. Now, throughout history, there have been groups and individuals that have set out to shift the accepted paradigm in Islam when it comes to female rights in relationship to male rights. Now, some notable groups in the 21st century that have risen up and have really established themselves as Islamic feminist groups, they are the Sisterhood. Now, the Sisterhood is an international platform for the voices of women who are Muslim, and this was founded in 2007 by a Norwegian filmmaker, Dia Khan, through her media and arts production company called Fuse. There's also the Sisters in Islam. Sisters in Islam's work really focuses on challenging laws and policies made in the name of Islam that discriminate against females. Now, they specifically take on issues covered under Malaysia's Islamic family and Sharia laws, such as polygamy, child marriage, the hijab and how it relates to modesty, and many others. And although Islam is a state religion of Malaysia, Malaysia remains a pluralistic democracy, which has made it very easy for women to challenge these Quranic teachings and Islamic philosophy and traditions. So they're making a lot of headways over in Malaysia. Then there's also Musawa, and this is a global movement that was formed in the year 2009, and the name actually means equality in Arabic. Musawa really advocates for feminist interpretations of Islamic writings, and they really encourage nations to really start following international human rights standards. So as you can see, there's several different groups that are making some headways in the world of Islamic feminism. They tackle similar issues and have similar focuses, but the end goal is actually the same: equality for men and women, not just in Islam, but also in the rest of the world. Before I continue, just to let you know that we do have a playlist filled with videos specifically about the religion of Islam, where we dive into the history, the culture, some of the beliefs. We explore some of the different branches of Islam as well. I'll have the link to that playlist below in the video description box, as well as I'll have it in the card section of this episode. And I'll also put it at the end of this video on the end screen there for you. I highly recommend it if you want to continue to expand your knowledge about Islam, whether you're a Muslim who wants to learn more about your own religion, or whether you're not a Muslim and just like learning. So I do have the link to that in multiple places in this episode. So once you're done this one, hop over to that playlist, and I'm sure you'll enjoy those videos and find them very informative. Continuing on with Islamic feminism, there's one woman, Fatima Sadat, who advocates the importance of feminism in the Islamic world. However, she brings up a concern that Islamic feminism is actually an unnecessary term, since feminism is a social practice, not merely of personal identity, to quote her own words. Fatima Sadat believes combining the terms Islam and feminism actually creates more problems and opens up a lot more doors for Islamists to interpret the Quran to fit their political agendas. One of the major areas of scholarship and activism for Islamic feminists is a Muslim personal law, also known as the Muslim family law, and it uses the acronym MPL for short, so I'll be using that acronym throughout the rest of this video. MPL includes three main areas of law, and those are marriage, divorce, and testation, which is the power and ability to own property, which includes the power to determine who will receive your property upon your passing away. Now, there are several Muslim countries that have really promoted some form of MPL, and those countries are Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Libya, Pakistan, Sudan, Senegal, Egypt, Tunisia, Indonesia, as well as Bangladesh. Now, some nations of Muslim minorities that have promoted some form of MPL or are considering passing laws that promote some sort of aspect of MPL include India and South Africa. In many of these countries, Islamic feminisms have objected to MPL legislation and law on the grounds that that type of law and legislation really discriminates against women. Many Islamic feminists believe that reformed MPL based on the Quran and the Sunnah, which includes a lot of input from Muslim women and which does not discriminate against women, is actually possible. And they have been working on developing forms of MPL that really promote and acknowledge the rights of women. However, on the other hand, there are Islamic feminists that say MPL should be rejected completely rather than just changed and updated. Islamic feminists fight against the way in which MPL regulates polygyny, divorce, custody of children, and marital property, as well as the real underlying assumption in the laws that really assume that the man is the head of the household. They're really trying to flip that upside down, where it's no, a man or a woman could be the head of a household. All right, everybody, so that was your inside look into Islamic feminism and what it means, some of the views for it and against it and why it came about in the first place. So what are your thoughts about Islamic feminism? Does it have a place in Islam or not? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Your opinion and your voice really matters. I'm also on social media. Those links are below in the video description as well. And it's been awesome once again just learning with you. And I look forward to reading your comments and having conversations with you because, you know, I learn a lot from you guys as well. Okay guys, I'm out of here and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. If you're still watching this, that means that you enjoyed this episode and maybe you want to learn more. So here's that playlist about Islam that I highly recommend. We also have videos about the different religions in the world. So go ahead, click something, continue learning with us here on FTD Facts, and don't forget to tune in every single day for more educational episodes.